Everybody, welcome to the Bourbon Basement. I'm Steve, and today I'm going to do a video on the end of the month bourbon haul, what the Bourbon Basement had this month. It's a little bit different because it's actually 2 months worth. So it's all of October and all of November. If you watched the last bourbon haul we had, or the last what we got new, it was in from September. So this one's going to cover 2 months worth of bourbon. Got several bottles and some special bottles here I'd like to share with everybody. I'm going to move over here so I can grab the bottles a little bit different. Um, anyway, I'm going to, how everybody says save the best for last. I'm actually going to do my favorite or best bottle first, or the one I think is the best. Anyway, so we went on vacation in Tennessee. Uh, and I'm going to put this here. Hopefully, you all can see it good. Um, but on our vacation in Tennessee, the first place I stopped, the first liquor store I stopped at to look for some bourbon, found this Knob Creek 21. So it's 21-year-old Knob Creek, 100 proof. It's just Kentucky straight bourbon. And went through the store and I looked at everything and everything. And I said, well, these bottles, I found these bottles at home. Some of them's a little bit cheaper. Well, then as I was walking out, this one caught my eye up on a shelf. It's pretty high. I kind of tiptoed up there and grabbed it off, took it up to the counter and asked how much it was. It's $220. So it's a pretty expensive bottle, but for 21-year-old bourbon, not too bad, right? Or I didn't think it was. So I jumped on it, and I had the 18 previously, uh, and I paid 199 for it at Liquor Barn. So I knew that price was pretty good and probably MSRP. So I went ahead and purchased that one. So that's our Knob Creek 21, uh, special bottle, special bottle, oldest bottle right now in the bourbon basement. As we come on, I'll go to this one here. This one here I picked up at Total Wine. It's Old Emer. It's the high wheat recipe. I got this. It was $55, I think. 96 proof, and we've done Old Emer before. This is just the finest wheat. This is like their standard Kentucky straight bourbon, and we did a review on that. So that's on one of our episodes. You can go back and watch it if you want. But it got a 7.5. So I'm looking for more than a 7.5 out of this one. That's probably a little bit sweeter and everything else, but so that's the old Emer high wheat. It's still available at Total Wine, I think. I don't know if they've sold out of that yet or not, but let's see. Does that do all right for you? All right, so now let's get into some auction wins. I think all of these were in the month of October. I got 3 bottles from the auction, and the only reason I go on the auction is for those hard to find bottles. Uh, but I'm not gonna overspend when I do them because I plan on drinking my bottles, so I don't want to go and pay 50, 100, $200 over MSRP because I'm going to be drinking it. So I try to stay on the auctions a lot. Bid little now. I learned my lesson from last Christmas. Uh, but when I do it, I look for those that I can get near MSRP uh, on bottles I can't find. So anyway, this is the I think I pronounced this right. This is the Hirsch. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon single barrel. It's 6 years and 4 months old, and it come in at 109.4 proof. And I went back through my records. I don't know how much I paid for these. This is actually a Benny store pick. Uh, I was looking. That's bottle 16. Yeah, bottle 16 out of 294. So 6.5 year bourbon, 6 year, 4 month old bourbon, and they got 294 bottles out of that barrel because it's a single barrel at 109.6 proof. So it doesn't say barrel proof, but they didn't water it down too much, did they? Uh, anyway, that's the Hirsch, a single barrel. I've been wanting these. They have a double oak version of this that is actually Kentucky straight bourbon. Now, Hirsch is blended. A lot of times that you'll find them, it won't say Kentucky straight bourbon on there. They do source their barrels of bourbons other places. So a lot of them won't be a Kentucky straight bourbon. So if you're into collecting Kentucky bourbon like I am, you got to check your labels and make sure you see that Kentucky straight on there so you know it's all Kentucky barrels that have been in there. This one was easy because it is a single barrel. So a lot of those places that you see that you know source barrels, if you see single barrel and it says Kentucky, you know, that's a pretty easy one to look at. I don't know if you can still see the bottle over there or not. Yeah, you can. All right. So the next one, now this one here, I do like Blanton's. I've had several Blanton's bottles. We've got the Blanton's Gold and the barrel proof over there. Uh, but I got into looking for these. So I got the Blanton's Green. That's the Blanton Special Reserve. It's only 80 proof, right? Now, the thing that's all Blantons, of course, are single barrels. Uh, but they made this one 80 proof and they don't release this one here in the States. This one goes to Europe, Asia, and Australia. And I believe the reason that they've created this, because your regular Blanton's is 93 proof. So the Blanton's Gold, I'm sorry, the Blanton's Gold is 103. And then barrel proof is up from that, depending on the barrel. But this one here is 80 proof. The Black Blanton's is 80 proof. There's several that go overseas that are the lower proofage, and I figured out why because I know that Europe, Asia, and Australia they don't tax like the bourbon that comes in. They tax based on the proof of the bourbon. So they made it 80 proof, so it's more affordable over there to be consumed. So I'm interested in opening the 80 proof and trying it to see because you know it's going to drink lighter, right? And I think Blanton's is smooth anyway, so I'm wondering if it's going to be too watered down or something like that. But I think that's going to be a special episode when we do it on the Blanton's Special Reserve because that's a good one as well. I'll pull all these back out at the end of the episode if you want to get just a look at the bottle. So, but you never find that one, so it had to be on an auction or secondary, right? Um, and now on the auction, I usually don't ever bid over $100. So all of these I've gotten for $100 or less. I could not find my receipts to tell you how much I did pay for it though. Here's another good one. It's the Cream of Kentucky. It's 11 and a half years old, which I like older bourbons. I tend to go to the old ones. It's 102 proof, just a Kentucky straight bourbon. So that's the Cream of Kentucky. I got a couple other. I got the cast strength cream of Kentucky, and then their standard cream of Kentucky, just a small batch. All right, so now we'll get out of the auction. The rest of these were mostly at Liquor Barn, mostly at Liquor Barn. One I think is at Total Wine, but the others were at Liquor Barn. So we'll start off with this one. Uh, Probably a lot of people's favorites are a really good bourbon. Everybody gets stags. I had a couple bottles of this, but I found it at Liquor Barn for MSRP, which was $79.99. Anytime you see this bottle for $79.99, you should pick it up. It's a fantastic pour for one. We're going to do an episode on this pretty soon. But for 80 bucks, it is really great. It's Kentucky straight bourbon. This one here is 127.8 proof. So they always the stag is a high proof, and that's something that you want. And anytime you can find this bottle, or a lot of Buffalo Trace products that come out that are allocated, if you find them at MSRP, you should grab them. So I did. So now I've got three bottles of that. We're gonna have an episode on one. This one here, also from Liquor Barn. So this is Kentucky Senator. It was actually a bottle that was gifted to me. Uh, And my sister knows the master distiller creator. Used to be a senator, and I've forgotten his name. I should have wrote that down or something, but I'm sorry. Uh, anyway, she got me that. Said she knew him, and that we was going to try to get him to come on the show. Well, I cracked open the bottle and drank the whole thing. Not that night, of course, over time. And so I went and got another bottle. I picked this one up. Now I hadn't seen this one. This one runs about $120 in the stores. Uh, Actually found this one for, let me see, 79.99. So, and I hadn't seen them for less than 119.99. So I picked that one up for 79.99. Uh, got it. It is a 7.5 year old, 107 proof Kentucky straight bourbon. And yeah, so now I've got another bottle of that. I do have a 9 year old Kentucky Senator over there too, but I needed that one because that was the one that we're going to do the show on. All right. So this one here, this one we went into Liquor Barn one day, and sitting at the front there, they had a table, and they had Miss Ashley Barnes, who is the master blender for Lucky Seven. So I picked up two Lucky Sevens and one EJ Curly, which she also owns and blends for. But my Lucky Sevens here, you can see that she signed all my bottles. Got to talk with her and ask her a bunch of good questions about blending some bourbons. And she's got this one. This one's etched in the glass right here. So I did walk away with those three bottles that night, and a good experience after meeting her. She's very nice. She probably talked to my wife and I longer than she should have, but we sat there and I kind of just ask and pick and ask and pick and try to get a bunch of questions out. She didn't give me no secrets, but she let me know kind of the process and everything that goes on. So we'll be doing some shows on this, but just to talk about these. So the EJ Curly, this is a single barrel. It was $60 or 59.99. Single barrel, 124.76 proof. So they went all out, giving you every little decimal point of the proofage. Now, there's no age statement on this bottle, but it's a Kentucky straight bourbon. And since it doesn't say under 2 years, we know that it is at least 4 years old. So that's EJ Curly. Then this Lucky Seven here, this is their Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's the small batch. This bottle is what's the 90? Is it 90? Yes, it's 90 proof. Uh, and it replaces if you're a Kentucky Lucky Seven fan. Uh, there was a Lucky Seven Workhorse. I never got the opportunity to purchase one of those bottles. I do see it on the auction sometimes. Never seen it in the store or anything. This one is replacing the Workhorse. So the Workhorse will be no more, and it'll just be the Lucky Seven Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Small Batch. It is 90 proof and at least 4 years old, and it was $40. And all these I tried at the store, their little samples and everything, and tasted, and they were good. When I can get a bigger drink of them, I'll do that and see. I'll get a better idea. But this particular bottle here, this is the Lucky Seven Holiday Toast, right? Now it was $70. It's 115 proof, and it's a double barreled version. It's their double oak version of it because they do it in one barrel, switch it to a toasted barrel, kind of like kind of like Woodford Reserve and all the other places that do that. But I have been looking for this. Did find it. She had it there, $70, and we know it's at least 4 years old too because it says Kentucky Straight Bourbon. And to say Kentucky Straight Bourbon, it and not put an age statement on it has to be at least 4 years old. If it is under 4 years old, it has to have the age statement on it as well. So it has to tell you it's younger. All right, and it doesn't, so I know it's at least 4 years old. All right, so I was pretty excited one day. We were in Liquor Barn, walked up there to the allocated counter, and I was looking, and I didn't even find this bottle. My wife did. So she found it, picked it up, and said, "Hey, they have this. Are you interested in that?" So this is probably a popular bottle. Most people know what it is. When you say purple top, it is a Willet purple top. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon, and it even says on the ticket here, rare, or on the label here, rare release, right? So we know it's 4 years old, and it is 125 proof cast strength. And I was saying, so I said I know it's 4 years old, and the only reason I know that is because it doesn't have an age statement, and it says Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey on it. So no, it's at least 4 years old. But that's your Willet purple tops. A lot of people, a lot of collectors have these. I've got one. It's going to look on pretty on my shelf for a little while, but I'm going to crack that thing open. We're going to drink it and tell you what we think about it. So that's the Willet Purple Top. I was also excited about this one. This one here is another Liquor Barn find, and Liquor Barn's one of my favorite stops around here. Uh, and it's because you can go in there just periodically, and they'll have some really great bottles for MSRP that you can find. Did I tell you about how much that one was? Oh, so the Willet Purple Top, $59.99. So you'll see these on secondary market for 150 or so. 59.99. That's MSRP on this thing, or that's what Liquor Barn sells it for. So I'm guessing that's MSRP. All right. So this one's special to me because I love Woodford Reserve. Everybody knows if you've watched any of my episodes, do when we get talking bourbon, a lot of times it goes back to Woodford Reserve because Woodford is that's kind of what got me into bourbon in the first place. Well, this is the double oak Woodford Reserve, but what makes this one special is it is a single barrel. And you don't see the single barrel double oak Woodford Reserves. And I'm guessing this one is a store pick because it says Liquor Barn on the label there. And I'm guessing that's why it is a single barrel because they went and picked the barrel, bought the barrel, had it bottled for Liquor Barn. So I'm real excited about that. I love Woodford Double Oak. It's one of my favorites. Uh, and just to enjoy a single barrel, which to me, single barrels are some of the best bourbon you can get sometimes. Each barrel is always different. Single barrel makes a lot of different barrels, a lot of different tastes. So this one here is a 96.42 proof. It and it was $100. Now these usually run the double oak usually runs between $65 to $75. I paid more for this because it was a single barrel, and you don't see that often. Uh, but there you go. So $100 for that, and this one I'll start with. Well, I'll go with this one. So this one here was a Total Wine pickup. I picked this up at Total Wine for $60. It's a Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. It is a single barrel. It's 101 proof, and it is at least 4 years old. The reason, oh, I didn't tell you this one here. This one doesn't have an age statement either. We know it's at least 4 years old, but if you've watched my Woodford Reserve episodes, these are probably 6 to 8 years old. So this one here is at least 4 years old, Wild Turkey. And you can see it's the only bottle I got in the last 2 months that has been drunk on, and it's almost gone. And opened that bottle in November because it is holiday season. And when it gets close to Thanksgiving, I like to drink Wild Turkey. I don't know why. I guess the turkey in it makes me think Thanksgiving. So I do a lot of Wild Turkey in November. And that's why that bottle's almost gone. Eventually, these other bottles will look just like that, but not right now. And last but not least, my birthday is also in November. You've probably seen the shorts and the TikToks and the stuff like that do my birthday. We had birthday bourbon on an episode. We had my birthday pour the night of my birthday was Eagle Rare 12. But this was a bottle that was gifted to me for my birthday. It is Wilderness Trail. It is bottled in bond at 100 proof. It is the single barrel, and it is $54 each. Now, doesn't have an age statement on it, but this is on the thing here. It says bottle 180 of 250. So 250 bottles out of that barrel because it is a single barrel. And if I go back up there to my Hirsch over there, it was 6 years and 4 months, and it was 294 bottles in that barrel. Of course, it's the same size barrel, and there is evaporation. So every barrel that is 6 years, 4 months ain't going to produce 294 bottles. But if you look at this one that produced 250 bottles, and they watered it down a little bit because they put it at 100 proof. That one over there is like 109 proof. So I'm guessing this is going to be 6 to 8 year old bourbon that's in this bottle. I don't know that. We did do an episode on Wilderness Trail. So if you go back and watch that, you'll have a little bit of history on it. But there you go. That's the bottles that we've had this month. I'll pull them back over here. I don't think I can get them all on the counter, but I'll get some of these out of the way here, you might be able to see. And while you are looking at some bottles, I'm just going to sign off and tell y'all to have a great holiday, a happy Thanksgiving, a happy Black Friday, and tune in. Tune in on Fridays at 6. Not tonight, though. That's why I'm doing this episode for some more Thanksgiving feast. But tune in normally Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're live. We do an episode on bottles like these so you can get an idea of what they may taste like. Keep liking our shorts and keep watching or liking our TikToks. Like and subscribe, everybody. And why drink alone, guys, when you can drink with us? We'll be your drinking buddy. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.